Get it, Axies. Ha ha ha. BTC and 32 ETH.
Welcome back, Hard Forkers. A very special show for you today. It's all about breeding.
Oh, yeah. Get it, Axies.
It's why we're all here. It's how we got here. Isn't that right, boys? Welcome to my two Canadian co-hosts today. They've coordinated their fashion sets for you. Looking good, boys.
Gotta have the plant print collared shirts.
So, Baloo, it's great for you to meet. Great for you to meet Mr. Gonzo. I know you've been watching our content, and Axie Infinity has obviously sparked your interest.
Yeah.
So today, people, we are going to be looking at the tokenomics of Axie, the social impact of it, why we like it, and yeah, doing a bit of a walkthrough on breeding. So, Mr. Gonzo, I'll hand it over to you at this point.
Let's Axie's get it on. Yeah, I mean, so where do you want to start? Do you want to start breeding, Sean?
I think the best way to sort of kick it off is, maybe just a high-level chat about why you've got so excited about this play-to-earn space. For people that are maybe seeing this for the first time on Baloo's channel, what exactly we are doing with the scholarship program. So if you can just give us a high level there, and then we'll sort of get into the nuts and bolts of why we think this is a great project to be involved with.
Okay. From the top, Axies is basically like Pokemon, right? You got these little monsters, and then each monster is an NFT, right? So NFT gaming in crypto, that's kind of the next wave in my eyes, like, without a doubt, because like the NFT, the crypto art, that kind of took off. That was a huge bull run. Everybody was going crazy on it, and now it's being bled out. And crypto art in general is pretty speculative, so you mix crypto speculation and art speculation, you get these massive candles that we've seen on some of the valuations on some of the art. Now people know about NFTs, but when the bear market comes around, people are like, oh, I'm bleeding, I need to make some passive, or I need to make some gains otherwise. And this is where the appeal of Axie comes in, is that the NFTs, they're not just little monsters. You put them in the game, you need 3 of them, you get your team of 3, and then you can play, and then you can earn SLP, which is the game token inside. So SLP ranges from like 5 cents up to, what was it, like 45 cents, 50 cents a couple weeks ago with the whole token swap. Most players on a decent day, they can make 100 to 150 SLP a day. And if you stretch it out, 750 SLP to 1,000 SLP a week. So that's a decent income if you're from a place where it's not like a US dollar standard. So there's quite an appetite. All these gamers that are really, economically not set, they're looking for passive income, or not even passive income, but play to earn. So, I was stoked on Axie, seeing the way that, the cool little monsters, you breed them, you can make more. And then the fact that they actually have a use case for people to make money, I was just like, oh, this is kind of neat. And, we went over it 6 months ago, 8 months ago, September, October. I started dabbling, getting into it, and just seeing how it was getting, kept growing, the strength of the community. I was just like, I got to get in this deeper. And, after the DeFi bubble, I had all this like gains that I was like, what am I going to do with this? And instead of just cashing out the fiat, I just accumulated Axies, SLP, started the breeding program. And now Ronan's come along, which is their layer 2 solution. And what that does is basically, gets rid of all the problems with the ETH network, the high fees for gas, this epic slowness sometimes when it gets congested. So they migrated all the Axies and all the land onto Ronin. So now you can just buy, sell, swap, breed, everything, all feeless. So it's like the potential is realized, right? And they had the growth numbers on Axie before the switch to Ronin were getting like parabolic, and now that the Ronin has come along, it's like they're just next level now, and they're getting all kinds of hype.
Mr. Gonzo, speaking of parabolic growth, you've had a bit of a significant hand in a little documentary that was made that I saw all over CNBC yesterday.
Yeah, that's cool, right?
I mean, this is going mainstream. So I guess my question to you at this point is, you know, the social impact of the scholarship program. How much has that sort of weighed into your involvement here? Can you sort of talk to us on that narrative a bit?
Yeah, pretty heavily, man, because I don't know, I'm a bit of an idealist sometimes. You know, the reason I got into crypto was to get away from, like, you know, the big working for big corporations and these systems where, you know, there's the peon in the bottom that does all the work, and then you've got layer upon layer of marketing and executive and middleman and everybody taking their cut, and people doing the work don't get shit. And that was mostly based in the creative industry, but it also, well, I mean, gaming is a creative industry. So, you know, I got into NFTs in 2018, which was way too early. You know, got excited about a potential, and the bear market kind of spanked me around a little bit. So, but I kept to it, you know, and I found out the good communities, good projects. Basically, in the bear market, the research was like, is there an app? Does it work? If it does, then I'll start looking into it. And, you know, that just leads you to a bunch of different projects that, you know, 2 years later, now in this epic bull market, they've done, you know, like hundreds and tens of hundreds % gains, and, you know, 10x, 100x, you know, all this crazy shit, because, you know, they kept building through the bear market, and now when the bull market's here, they're ready to go. And they've got the speculation is less because there's actually products that you can use. So, I mean, and the social aspect, I mean, I love the fact that, you know, my scholars are messaging me all the time, you know, oh, we bought a fridge and I'm paying for my kid to go to school, and boss, you know, my wife's got to go for a checkup for pregnancy. Can you spot me? Can you front me? It's like, okay, man, no problem. So, you know, I mean, they're just digital assets and they're not doing anything. And it's like, well, sure, of course, let people play them. I'm just sitting there looking at them, collecting them. So, yeah, I'm really excited about it. And I can see this as like a, you know, nothing lasts forever, but the play to earn space is just starting. I think within the next 3 to 5 years, you know, you're going to see these play to earn games with like usership of some of the AAA games, because I mean, people play games, but they cost a lot of money, and you don't get anything in return for it other than just wasting your time. You know, so when this catches on, there's a lot of really poor people in need. You know, like we've started communities in India, Brazil. We have scholars in Algeria, the Philippines, obviously, right? Because that's kind of the first mover, right? That documentary was based on one community where one guy got into it. He's kind of had the foresight, started showing all his friends, and then they said, like, what, the whole town, you know, within a 5-block radius, like every person in the town was playing Axie, you know? Yeah. So like, what other crypto can claim that, you know? And you just see what's happening with the rest of the bull market. Kind of gives you a bit of like, okay, this is not so bad. Like, I feel kind of dirty seeing what's happening with a lot of these like meme coins, and like people like, ah, fuck it, I sold the top, and just dumping on the noobs, you know. And it's like, oh Jesus, here we go again. It's going to set up a bunch of resentment for the market, you know, and people, you get that scam annotation, right? Yeah. So I don't know how many more of these we have to do before we can kind of get past it, but
yeah, so I'm going to hand it over to Baloo, because I know he's got lots of questions for you. But I guess my last question for you is, at what point did the sort of light bulb moment happen where you're like, okay, there's a business opportunity here. I can invest capital in this game. I can not only make a good return for myself, and we're going to look at those numbers in a moment, but obviously we're helping other people here generate an income as well at a very difficult time for so many people. I mean, the two places I've lived for the last 15 years have both gone into heavy lockdowns, Thailand, Singapore. You know, people's incomes are getting absolutely smashed here. So, you know, this opportunity is significant. But, you know, I'm really trying to show an audience it's got to, you know, both sides of the equation have to be in place for something to work, don't they? You're getting a return, you know, so I'm trying to sort of understand, how have you mapped that out? How have you understood, okay, here's my capital outlay?
Well, I mean, I'm not much of a like number by number kind of guy. It's more of like as soon as we met Jeho, right? When we met Jeff, that first interview, remember? Yeah. Talking to him and seeing the community, I was like, okay, I'm in, you know? And I didn't like say, okay, I'm going to put in X amount of dollars and map it out and then like, you know, plan it. I didn't plan it like that. I just started buying in. And then the more that we got involved and interacted with the community and seeing the project, how they would deliver, the way that they did business. You know, like they say, we got this in the pipeline. This is first, but sometime. You know, there's no like promise. You know, everybody gets upset and dumps, and it's just the way that they've run everything is really nice. You know, the idea is to be a decentralized network. Sky Mavis is building it for everybody, but you know, the players, they're holders, right? They're investors, because with the AXS tokens, the Axies, you know, you have a piece of the economy. So it just, right as soon as we met Jeff, really, Sean, I was like, this is cool. And then kind of the second moment, like I knew the scholarship thing seemed like viable, but scaling it up, I wasn't sure how it was going to be possible. But then January, February.
I'll just quickly interject for people that aren't familiar with this game. But basically, I guess the reason our scholarship program exists is there is that barrier to entry.
Yeah.
You know, so for people to actually earn an income from this, you've got to buy the asset to begin with. So, you know, there is that hump that you've got to get over. So what we're effectively doing is providing the team to these people to play. They then get the income from that. We're taking a clip on that as well. Let's be straight up about that. You know, to me, that's why this works. So you've got people who have that capital to invest, but effectively we're creating an income for people to then generate enough capital to have their own teams. So, I mean, how many scholars have sort of graduated to that point where they've got their own teams?
The breeding has been quite difficult up until Ronan came around. We started, you know, in September, October. I got a couple scholars breeding, you know, in January, February, but then the gas went retarded and it just wasn't viable. It would become too expensive. But since then, you know, I've got to see, I had about 15 scholars initially, and almost all of them have started breeding. So they're going to end up with a couple Axies, you know, one or two, depending on how much SLP they've made and how hard they've been working. So, you know, I mean, ideally, I see it like the first month is just grind where they have to play just to show that they're into it, you know, and they deliver, you know, they put the time into it. And then after that first month, they'll have enough SLP that can breed, and they can have the choice, you know, do they want to cash out or do you want to breed? And then if you continue that same path, hopefully at the end of 3 months, they would have their own team, ideally.
Sure. Well, so just last question, and I'll throw it over to Baloo. But what would you say they're making on a weekly basis playing this game? And okay, we have to use fiat here for.
It's tough to peg because the madness. It's tough to peg right now because of the madness with SLP. But like I said, the quota, you know, the low end is 750 and the high end is about 1,000 a week. So, you know, if we take SLP at 5 cents or 10 cents, right? So it's $100 a week. If it's 1,000 at 10 cents, right? Which is not bad for someone that's used to making, you know, like $60 or $75 a month, right? And then so the scholarship split, what we've done is we give 65% to the scholar and we take 35% for the assets. And I'll usually give a bonus for the first time because the Axies come out that they don't have any experience, so you have to level them up to get them to earn more. So I'll give them a 5% bonus for the first cash out, just as like, hey, thanks for joining, and you know, grinding away. And then after that, it goes to 35% as the scholarship cut. So, you know, $100.
Excellent. So Baloo, welcome along today, sir. Have you got some questions for Jordan at this point?
Yeah, for sure. First of all, I just want to say how fascinating this is because, you know, I'm not a gamer at all. Like, I don't play games. But like, this was put in front of me, and then I saw the whole economy that goes behind it, and I started to draw all these parallels to what we see in functioning, you know, crypto economies. Like, you know, in terms, if we're thinking in terms of Bitcoin, you know, you have the miners, you have the speculators, and you have the transactors, and they all kind of contribute to the same goal. Whereas when you're, you know, when you're looking at these play to earn games, you know, the actual playing to earn the stuff and, you know, level up the creatures and this, that, and the other, like, that's the proof of work. That's the proof of work consensus. And then you have the speculators speculating on the worth of these things. And then you have the transactors who are playing the game and, you know, trading and doing some breeding. So it's like, it's, you know, a light just kind of clicked on in my head, and I'm like, wow, like there is a huge opportunity here for the world to participate in these communities and these economies where, you know,
and
you just open up more land on the earth, basically, for business. And so it's super cool. It's just really cool. Like, you know, I guess, you know, I'm always kind of late to the party, but, you know, the light bulb has switched on. Right. I just mean, I always feel like you know, like I show up and people are like, well, yeah, that's what we're doing. Yeah, of course, that's what we're doing. But yeah, I guess my question for you is the part that I'm struggling, because I'm not a gamer and I'm not actually playing the game, and I probably should. You know, I'm kind of interested in, you know, the making money part, which is, to me, you know, buy some Axies and breed them and contribute to the supply that's, you know, to service the demand inside of the economy. My question to you is, what makes one worth 0.01 ETH, and what makes one worth 100 ETH? Because I don't understand that at all.
Right. Well, there's a couple levels to that as well. You know, there's rarity for the collectibles, right? So basically, you know, every Axie has an ID tag, right? So the earlier the Axies are, the more rare they are, right? And then they have mystics, right? So there's all the cards. Each Axie has, Sean, so just pick one of those Axies there. And you can see there's cards for each one. And those cards, how well they play the game, right? So there's the aspects of like how well the Axie can do in the game, which drives the price up. And that's just like utility. And then there's mystic Axies, which have like special parts that are extremely rare. And so those, you know, 100 ETH Axies, those are the mystics.
And the mystic, what is that? Like, how do they show up into the world? Is there a special process for breeding, or is it just mystically is born a mystic? Like, how does that work?
Exactly. They were just like spontaneously, you know, generated by the team at the beginning, and there's never going to be more, right? So, Sean, if you click on the marketplace there, and then you click on the bottom there, it says mystic. It says mystic. Put that to 6. There you go. Oh, got to go to 3, I think, because there is no 6 Axies. There you go. So these are the mystics with 3 parts, right? And that number is not dollars.
Explain to me again. So these are no more mystics are born, or how does this work?
Yeah,
they've already been like effectively pre-mined mystics, and they just exist in the ecosystem for speculation. Okay,
exactly. Sean, if you click on one of them,
and if you're playing the game, what kind of advantages does the mystic have?
It just looks pretty. Parts don't do anything.
Special. All right. So it's just a rarity thing to kind of drive interest and speculation.
So should we buy this one now, guys? It's a bargain.
Yeah, it's only 8 million.
I'll chip in.
You get lots of press. You would get a lot of press. But you see, like, so there's those little tags there, right? The yellow tag is the number, and then origin. So there's also origin Axies, which are extremely low tags. You know, like I think it's under 10,000 are origin Axies, right? And so you can get those for a little bit cheaper, like one ETH, less than 1 ETH, 2 ETH, maybe. I've seen some for 0.4, 0.5 ETH, which is a pretty good deal, because those ones, you know, it's just appreciation as far as the more the system gets adopted, the rare stuff will go up the floor of it. So that's probably an easier way to get in if you want to get like super collectible, is start with the origin Axies, right? And then just recently with Ronin, they had these breeding events, you know, where they would introduce new parts. And they had a Japanese breeding event, and now all these Japanese Axies, they're no longer being produced. So those are going to be more rare. There's the 2 aspects, the collectibles, like NFT rarities, and then there's also just utility. So the utility is what I've been dealing with. I haven't got any mystics or any origins yet. But actually one of my plans is, as I start selling that and making some profits from my breeding program and the scholarship program, is to start getting an origin Axie or 2 and maybe a mystic. We'll see how it goes.
So, Mr. Gonzo, I guess my question to you at this point, we've made a lot of content recently about, you know, what to do with your crypto gains. And there will be some people watching the show that maybe have done quite well speculating on crypto. But how do we preserve that wealth? How do we get a yield from it? You know, we've looked at Aave a couple of days ago on the show. But Axie really excites me at the top of the show because of that social impact side as well. If I can make a return but also help other people out with this program, then for me, that's where I'm going to put my capital. So I've just gone away and bought some more AXS. So we're going to delve into the tokenomics a bit more now, how this works. If you are interested, if you want to get involved, for a lot of people, okay, you're not buying these teams to go into a scholarship program. So let's sort of break it down a bit here for people.
The easiest way.
Yeah, exactly. How do you get involved in this game? What sort of the kickoff point? Yeah, to talk us through it.
So Ronin is the second phase, right? So now they're on the side chain, which means, no fees and everything else. But the key component there is AXS, because that's the governance token. So that will allow you, when you have AXS, you can stake it, and you will get a cut of the fees on the marketplace. So even if you don't really play or you don't want to breed, there's still this staking aspect that will be coming soon. I'm sure once they enable the Ronin DEX and you can swap between AXS, ETH, and SLP and a stablecoin, you'll be able to stake it on the marketplace, and then all the transactions that happen, the same as it works with like Uniswap liquidity pooling or most DeFi projects, you get fees, right? And so depending on your share of the pool, you'll make some passive returns on that. And not to mention the appreciation of the AXS token.
Yeah, so here we've got the average price of an Axie, which is $271. Talking to you last night, you were saying basically I can breed an Axie for effectively about $10. Is that right? Or one AXS, which is $7 at the moment?
Yeah, so the tokenomics of the breeding, you need to have one AXS. So you have two Axies, you breed them. It costs one AXS to make that breed. But then you also need Smooth Love Potion, which is the internal utility token. And that one is, the tokenomics of it is that it's deflationary and inflationary at the same time. So when people play the game and they win, they claim tokens. So new tokens are minted. And then when you breed, all the SLP you use for your breeding, that gets burnt. So it's this kind of like, really fluid supply. So people are like buying SLP in speculation, but the best thing to do is if you want to speculate is you buy AXS, and the SLP becomes like your internal fuel inside the economy, where you can buy and sell and trade Axies and use that to gain more AXS. Yeah, it's 10, like what is AXS now? Like $8, $8.30, depends. Right, but it's peaked out at 10, and before the kind of this big run up, it was the pre-sale on Binance was like 14 cents. It's 10x easy, right? The staking hasn't even started yet, and the real use cases of the governance token haven't started yet. So once that kicks in, you're looking at a really, I think it's an easy flip if you're just trading AXS. And then the SLP it costs, if you breed two virgins, it costs 200 SLP, 10 cents each, $10, $30. So 10 for one, 10 for the other, and then 10 for the AXS. So $30. And you saw the average price was $270, right? So even if you're breeding like the turdiest of turds, you can unload them for like $150 quite easily. So, I mean, that's a 5x return, even if you have no idea what you're doing and you're just randomly breeding stuff, right? If you know what you're doing and you breed some good parts with some good parts and you get a virgin with good parts, that's when you're looking at your 0.1, your 0.15 ETH, right? These stronger cards and the stronger Axies. That's when you start making some good money. And then you breed that with another one, and all of a sudden you have the potential for 7 more. You can breed each Axie up to 7 times. But once you start getting to the 3rd, 4th breeds, it starts becoming really expensive with the SLP. So if you have some really good cards and it's worth it to breed 5, 6 times, 7 times.
Yeah. Okay, those numbers are super exciting. I mean, that's just, wow. Baloo, questions at this point before we get into some breeding?
Yeah. So, how is it possible for somebody who doesn't play the game to be able to identify what a good card or a good part is?
Yeah, I mean, there's tons of information on the cards, right? Like you don't have to actually play it to see how it goes, but generally, like it's a lot like stocks. If there's a big number for attack, those are usually generally pretty good cards, right?
Okay.
So that's why people buy birds, because they have absolutely zero defense, but they have tons of attack, and they're super fast. So it's quite an easy one to speculate on, right? Because you look at the 4 cards and the attack total equals like 400 hit points. It's like, okay, that'll do damage, and if it's got a top speed, then those are good. But those virgins are 0.1 or 0.15 for those ones, right? But if you start playing the game, you realize they're not necessarily the best, because there's tricks, different cards that can beat them, and like different abilities in some cards, right? And then you have these players that are really good, and they'll stream and they're like, oh, I found a new combo that works, these 2 cards with these 2 cards. And then that guy will stream, and then you get a run on those Axies because that new combo specialty, people will start buying it, right? So there's a bit of like, influencing and metadata that goes with it too. But if you don't know what you're doing, generally if you just bought 2 of the cheapest versions on the marketplace and bred them, you could easily make money without knowing anything about it.
What are the magic mushrooms?
I want to know for sure. Well, this is the other aspect that we haven't talked about yet, which is the land, right? So much like Decentraland, they're building Decentraland in the fact that they've built a world out. It's not VR, but it's like a top-down. Like Baloo, you were saying you're not really a gamer. I'm not much of a gamer either. And the only thing that I really played was like Age of Empires and like Sim City and that kind of stuff, right? And then we were on the beach and I was chilling, and my daughter had Sim City on her iPad and I was playing that. And I was like, oh man, this is the perfect thing for crypto. You're building economies, it's commerce, you're trading, you got to worry about the infrastructure, right? And then I was like, this needs to happen in crypto. And then I saw Axie, and that's where another thing that helped me connect the dots, right? So when the land play comes, you're going to have Axies that are going to need to mine rocks and chop wood and craft items and create more NFTs, right? So that's the other aspect that hasn't even been touched on yet, is that I'm pretty sure that all of the really crappy Axies, they're still going to be usable. They've showed a demo where you got an Axie like, and they're mining, and each mining is like a transaction, and it gives you like a piece of a coin. So you're going to get a bunch of people that, even if they have shitty Axies, they can go into the land and mine and create more value. So that's the other aspect that we haven't even touched on yet. So there'll be a whole bunch more like mini games and ways to earn once the land play is involved. Because right now it's just the PvP where you fight each player and then one versus the environment. When the land play comes, there's going to be dungeons, right? So you go through the dungeons and there's going to be prizes and treasures, right? Power-ups and level ups for the Axies, right? So you're going to get all this like role-playing level up stuff that's going to affect the prices as well. So there's tons and tons of potential, and we're super early. So you're not late, Baloo. You're not late at all.
It's very fascinating. It's and it sounds like just more and more development coming and more layers to the demand of the economy. And it's just, it's just really cool. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's
I mean, one
really
of the things I really like about it, we're obviously Blue and I do a technical analysis show together. What I like about this is that even if we're going into a bull market, for me here's a sector of the blockchain space where you can continue to make a yield. Mr. Gonzo, you're actually building a business out of this. I mean, to what degree is this sort of your passive income as opposed to sort of staking a crypto asset? This one here. How does that factor into your sort of bigger plan in life? I mean, are you really sort of seeing this as integral for you? Yep.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
My background is in animation, right? I'm an animation director, creative, and my wife, she's a producer for animation, and it's a lot of the same things. Like you're dealing with people around the world, coordinating payments, checking in on progress and stuff. So ideally, I can see my wife managing the scholars, just the day-to-day communication and doing the payouts, right? And then I can sort out, making sure we have Axies and then buying and selling and flipping those and stuff. And like I said, I'm not planning on it going for the rest of my life, but I see the, being in early enough and the rise of the adoption that if I've got enough assets and enough of a plan in place that I won't need to do it the rest of my life just for, 4 or 5 years and then take it easy.
So should we dive in and actually do a bit of breeding here, Mr. Gonzo?
Let's do it.
Right, talk us through it.
There you go, 13,000 SLP and 113 AXS. You ready to breed, boy? So Sean,
just quickly, maybe we should also, because I really believe in this game, so I've just bought some more AXS. So should we quickly move that from my MetaMask into here and explain to people what that's all about?
Yeah, let's do it. Gas is super cheap right now.
Okay. So how do I do that? So basically, I've gone to Uniswap. I've swapped some ETH. I've bought some AXS. How do I bring that into my Ronin wallet? Effectively, is what we're doing, right?
Yeah. So if you go to the bridge there, that little button above left, yeah, bridge. Yep. So then your AXS is in the correct MetaMask wallet, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so you go click bridge.
Oh, hang on. Let me just make sure I've got, yes, it is.
I just posted a link there. If you go to axie.live, it's a really cool tool that someone in the community built. It just shows you the prices for everything. The cost in ETH and the cost in Ronin, like for each thing that you can do inside the Axie economy. For Ronin, it's easy. It's 0 for everything. But things like bridging Ethereum and bridging AXS and bridging SLP, so that's all in there.
So basically what we're doing now is I've just purchased some AXS on Uniswap, and I'm moving that from my MetaMask to my Ronin wallet, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Did you click
so I hit deposit.
Oh, you're doing it on a different screen? Because we're still on the other screen here.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
So Bridge basically just takes your ERC20 tokens from the ETH mainnet, wraps them, and puts them onto the Ronin. If you're using ETH, it becomes wrapped ETH. If you're using SLP or AXS, it actually converts them, because all of the AXS and SLP currently outside of Ronin are the old versions of the token, and now those tokens are Ronin native, right? So they have to be swapped. If you can take them out, but it's expensive and you don't really want to. So
okay, so you guys can see the Ronin bridge screen now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to deposit, and that when you deposit, that automatically swaps the old SLP and AXS into the new one. So then your Ronin address, that'll just be in the top. You have your Ronin address, Sean, right? If you click on the Ronin wallet, the copy paste is right. Currency, you want your AXS.
Okay. Why is it saying 0?
Oh, just go back to the assets, because I think you have the old one, right? You click the new one.
There we go.
Ding! You got the old AXS. All right. I'm going to send Stefano to you next time he wants OTC. He's like, come on, man. Sell me some AXS for SLP. I'm like, dude, I feel like the Bitcoin pizza guy. Thousands of Bitcoin on pizza right now. I don't really want to sell my AXS, but I'm excited for the day when you can buy and sell Axies in the AXS. That'll be the cycle.
We've got a little glitch here, guys. It's not letting me. Can you see my screen? You see the?
Yeah, it just says confirm. It doesn't show the wallet though.
Yeah, but I can't. This bit here where I should be hitting
confirm, and then it should give you a pop up.
Nothing's happening.
Yeah, I can't get there. Usually down here, I've got the ability to. Oh, there we go. That's a bit of a glitch.
So simple, it's easy, done. You wait a couple minutes and it's there. Now you can close up that tab and we'll go back to the marketplace. So that was anybody if you need to bridge assets from Ether onto Ronin. So you can do that with ETH, because the marketplace still works on wrapped ETH. You can't buy and sell with SLP or AXS yet, but that's coming again with the DEX and the next version of the marketplace.
Okay, so
let's see the dashboard again, Sean. All right, so Sean's got a bunch of Axies here. Can you guys see this?
Yep.
Okay, so these 3 are the original team that Jazzy's been playing with. See they've got the breed count 2, 3, and 5, right? So this guy's not really a breeder. This one is the one we're going to breed because it's a pretty good tank. And so I've sent 2 other Axies that are quite compatible with him. You see they have similar parts, right? They've both got the horn that's the same. They've got the same tails. So if we click on one of these guys, you can get the code. So I'm going to copy and paste address. And there's this really cool tool here, Axie Tech, and it's Axie pricing. So you can type in that code there and you can see what kind of Axie you have. And it'll tell you, well, it's unique on the market because it's got an animal part. So that one's a bit too unique. Let's try this other one here, this guy. And so this tool is quite good. It'll give you a rough idea. You got to get one that's not rare. Or not unique, sorry.
What do you do when they're unique?
You kind of have to remove a part or 2, and that'll give you an idea of the range. So there's one part that's not common on it. But if you go onto the marketplace, you'd see a bird that's quite common, like this. So this is all bird parts, so it's quite common on the marketplace. So see here, combat owl, right? Quick sale 0.78, reasonable 0.909. If you're patient, 0.13. Right? Because this one is low priced because it's got 5 breeds on it already. If you got this same card with 0 breeds, it would be probably twice the price.
Blue,
So
are
it's a
you
nice
following
little-
this, or are you confused like I am?
No, I get it. Yeah.
Yep.
It's just, I guess this database is going to be continually updated as there are
Exactly.
more things that are kind of common in the ecosystem.
Exactly. And the guy is working on it. He's coming up with a tool where you'll be able to plug in your wallet, and it'll calculate the costs of all of your wallet, of all your Axies, which is kind of cool. I'm waiting for that. That'll be awesome.
Interesting.
Okay, so let's see. Now, there's this other tool that I use all the time, because if you're breeding, this is called freakkitties.github.io, right? And so they have a breeding calculator. And then so that allows you to type in the IDs. So these are the 2 that Sean has, right? And then it gives you the percentages. So one parent, another parent. So the eyes, you have the chance of getting a plant eyes or lizard eyes because of 2 parents, right? These are the percentage chance. The ears, right? The horn, different horns, a lizard horn or a plant horn, lizard turtle, or lizard 2 parts, right? And you can see, so probably definitely it's going to get that same tail, the snake jar. It's 50-50 on the back part, 37 or 37. And then you can see it's probably going to be this blue color and have this pattern on it. There's different classes. This is dusk class and the lizard class. The dusk ones are more expensive, just because they're in another class and they're more rare. Either way, we're going to get a good Axie here. So this is the one we want to do, Sean.
And
so
what's the so just explain to people that are completely new to this, having a better Axie increases your ability to get a better yield from playing the game, right?
Yeah, exactly. So for instance, on this one here, the easiest way to tell is if you have a pure Axie, right? So they're all the same color, the body parts. So this one's not quite pure, but it's a good deviation because the back part, if we look at the cards, so there's the 4 parts that have attacks and defense. It's got huge attack, a really good attack, but this also does a stun, which is a very common, nice part that everybody loves. And then, so it's got really good attack and really good defense. So this is quite an expensive Axie. Put it in the game and you can make, it instantly increases your team. So this is an upgrade that I've sent for Jazzy so that she can grind away and get more Axies. So these 2 are decent, and then this one's kind of not so good. I've sent this one as an upgrade for this guy, and then we'll breed these 2 that will get more upgrades. And so 2 big tools that you use, Axie.live, which gives you the gas fees. And then there's Axie Tech, which has the pricing. And then your breeding calculator, which is on freakkitties.github.io.
There we go. There's my new AXS balance.
Okay, super easy, man. Oh, it bridged already. Nice, you're cool. Okay, so let's start breeding, Sean. Click on the little green guy. Bamboo King Killer, and that's the funnest part for me, is naming these guys.
Oh, these you named these ones, did you? Okay,
yeah,
very good.
So you got your 3 options. You can sell, breed, or gift. And now if you when you're transferring between, you can breed. There's no cost for that. Everything on Ronin is free now.
So just to clarify, you were basically saying at the top of the show that I can effectively breed this Axie for 1 AXS, which the current price is $7, right?
Yep.
But the cheapest Axie is selling for how much?
I think it was 0.35 or something right now, the cheapest ones. But the cheapest
So
versions are
that
even
represents a pretty good opportunity.
Yeah. So let's click breed. So this guy's got 2 breeds on him already. Right, so I didn't want to breed him up to 7 with 1 Axie because it would be way too expensive. So that's why I sent 2 Axies. So we got that purple guy and the blue guy. We're going to breed each one of those twice. Okay, so now you select the Axie on the outline there, click that, and that'll give you the options of which guys are compatible. So if they're related, you can't breed them, right? So you're like, oh, I got this really good one, and then I breed it, and I'm going to breed it again. It's like normal genetic rules, right? Like you can't inbreed. So that's one thing you have to be conscious of when you're buying Axies for breeding, that you want to get separate bloodlines, like genetics. If you get the same genes, you buy the 2, and then you can't breed them. Let's start with the purple guy there, Princess Jagasaur. She's got 1 breed on her. So the first breed, when it's at 0, only costs 100 SLP. The second breed costs 200. The third breed is 300, then 500, then 8, then 1200, and then 2100, I think. So it goes way up real fast.
Right, so look, remove the children from the room, people. We are about to breed.
So that costs 500, Sean, because the second guy, the green guy, his third breed costs 400, and the first breed costs 100. So your total is 500 SLP. So you breed it, and it says it costs 1 AXS.
Let's breed.
It's woohoo time, buddy. So you got your Ronin will pop up, and that'll say confirm the transaction. You can't see it because of the screen sharing technology. You click OK.
Yep.
And it'll take a couple seconds, and you get a little nice animated icon,
They're
little
doing
hearts
their
to
thing
show
in the
up.
background, people.
Basically, smart contracting, interacting, right? They use chain link, random number generators, right? So they take different lines of stats, mix them together, and then you get the random generation of a new NFT. All right, so just click the X there, you can close it. So now if you click back, so you can go back to your inventory. So hit F5, which is your refresh. Within a minute or two, you'll get a little egg. Another minute. We're on Ronin, it's fast, but not quite as fast as, you know, instantaneous, but it's still way faster than ETH. This whole process, if you're on ETH, it would have taken half an hour. And because when you're breeding, you don't need to go fast. So you put it on slow gas, and then it's going to cost you like, you know, 60, 75 bucks for that interaction that you just did. For a cheap day, it was $60. On an expensive day, that would have cost 150 bucks. Hit F5 again right now, Sean. It should be good now. So you see you've one AXS is gone, and some SLP are gone. Ding! Oh, you got a plant. So you can tell instantly. Well, actually, no, because it's a circle, which means it's a lizard egg, and the greenness means the parent was a plant. So it looks like you're going to get a lizard. So that's good. So now you've got one breed done.
All right.
So if you go to the marketplace, Sean, let's check that out. And now if you click on the bottom there where it says egg on the left, right? So these are the basic ones, right? But the egg is total speculation because you have no idea what you're going to get, right? You can look at the parents and get a pretty good idea. If it's two shitty parents, you're going to get a shitty egg. If it's two good parents, you're going to get a good egg.
So I can put this egg up for sale now for $107.
Yeah, if you're impatient, you don't want to wait the 5 days to see what you get, you could just sell it for 0.28. Yeah,
right.
But you could sell it for a lot more because the parents are a lot better than the ones you see there. Like those are the ones where people are just like randomly buying stuff. Good eggs from pure breeds, they'll go for like 0.1 or 0.2 depending on what the parents are.
I hope our audience is following this. Baloo, any questions?
No, I'm just an observer at this point. I think most of my questions have been answered.
Nice.
This part I am a little bit familiar with. I have breeded a little bit. I have bred a little bit. It was just more so, you know, what makes a good Axie and what makes a bad Axie. That's still something that I think is going to be a subjective point for me to kind of really wrap my head around.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of that comes from gameplay, you know, like
right. Yeah, I think that's the missing piece. That's like, you know, I'm interacting with a game on the back end without ever playing it.
Yeah, I mean, you can get an idea, like I said, just by reading the cards, you know, but the cards will be a lot clearer once you play it and you see how the cards work. But you can use the numbers in the cards as a pretty good indication. So Sean, let's go back to my account, your inventory, and let's do another one. So last night, you know, Stefano is the other manager of our scholarships. You know, he stepped up and he bought 70 teams from another scholarship that was kind of reorganizing. So all his teams are, you know, he's got 3 on each team, but they're not made for breeding. So we started swapping some Axies last night where I sent him some virgins and we split the cost and he bred up a bunch of Axies. So those will be ready in 5 days. That was pretty fun. So he went through all his wallets, but he didn't have very many virgins to breed with. So let's click that blue guy, Sean. Let's do that guy now.
This guy?
Yep. So this guy is a dusk, which is a bit more, you can see all the Axies that are on the marketplace too. You can see by classes. The most popular one is Beast, and then the birds, and then the plants, and then all the lesser classes, they're worth a bit more. So let's breed that guy too. So Sean, maybe scroll down a bit there. For this guy, these parts here, the Ronin part, the orange one, and then the Kotaro part, that purple one, and the snake jar, those 3 parts, the combo of the 3 make it quite valuable because this one steals energy, this one deals a lot of damage and gives you a combo, and then this one is a really good defense. It makes your Axie a lot harder to defend, attack. So those 3 cards are quite a good combo cards. So it's
quite important to really get your head around all the intricacies of this to be able to breed successfully. Is that the case?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still, you can just breed randomly and you can still make money, but you'll do a lot better if you know what you're doing. If you like take the time just to study the cards and how they work.
That's what this video is all about, people. For those of you that you've got an expert here. So okay. Talk us through. What are we doing?
Breed it up again. Yeah. All right. So let's breed that with the green guy once. So process, it's super quick. Click OK. You get.
And it's all costing me 1 AXS, which today's price is about
800 SLP.
Right.
Which is $8. Right. So that costs you $18, Sean. If you sold it right now on the marketplace for $100, 5x.
Yeah.
But then you'd be seriously undercutting yourself. For that egg, you could probably get at least, I'd say 0.5 at the minimum, and at the max, probably 0.075. maybe 1.1 because it's like two really good Axies.
Right.
So that went through. So if you go back to
Okay.
your inventory, you can see another little egg jar. And the egg jar gives you some clue. Not marketplace. Yeah, my account, inventory. So hit F5 again. So hopefully this one is blank. If it's blank, it means it's a dusk. Yes, you got a dusk. Nice. So if you click on the little jar there, Sean, I don't know, there's a weird glitch in it. I'm not sure if they meant to do this, but if it comes up a dusk, it's empty. So the speculation, there's a tiny bit of speculation missing there. Like, you know for sure it's going to be a dusk, which means it'll be worth more than if it was a plant. So the green guy is the plant and the blue is the dusk. So for sure you're going to get a dusk, which is awesome. So now you can change a name for it. You can sell it. But if you go back, let's do one more, Sean. We're printing IFA right now. So now from the egg until the full grown Axie takes 5 days. So it's like Christmas. So let's go the blue guy and the purple guy. So normally, like before I did this, I spent a lot of time, on that breeding calculator that I showed you, trying different combos of different Axies, right? And if you want to use that breeding calculator, the best thing is you find the parts that you like, right? And the two Axies should have a couple matching parts, and then it takes a lot of the randomness out of it, right? So if they both have the same tail and the same horn, it's going to be almost the same Axie. There's some randomness in it, and then you want to find an Axie match in that breeding calculator, the higher percentage of the part that you want when you breed. There's still recessive genes where you could get like your great grandfather's horn, right? And you're like, where did that come from? But that's a bit of the speculation and randomness, right? So here, this one, because now we've got 2 breeds and 3 breeds. The second one, the blue one is going to cost 500 and the purple one is going to cost 300. So 800 SLP for this guy as well. Plus 1 AXS. Breed it up. Jazzy's going to be super happy. She's going to have a whole couple nice Axies to start kicking butt with. And she's been doing amazing. Holy cow. Like you said, Sean, there's $2,000 in there, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember when she started? That was about, what, 3 months ago?
Yeah, very true. That's actually a good amount of money in a pretty short period of time there.
Hey, so let's take a look at your Axies, man.
Yeah, okay.
Axie consultant.
Yeah, let's see what we got here.
You're basically a pimp, Jordan.
So these are my guys. These are my little guys. I only have one for sale, and I just pulled the price out of my my ass. So
the sale thing is kind of cool, right? Like, you can set your market, you can pull the price, you don't have to pay.
Yeah, you can have it on discount to create a little bit of right then and there decision. It's like, well, it's only going to go up if you wait.
So how many of these did you buy?
I bought 2.
And then you've bred the rest.
Oh, wait, no, I bought 2. And then I think I bought another one. Yeah, I bought 1, 2. Yeah, I think I bought 3. Yeah, 3 in total.
Nice.
Yeah, Vitalik Jr. I'll work on my own little brand of naming these things.
So you kind of bought for cheapness, right?
Oh yeah, I didn't know what I was doing. I wasn't going to commit to anything. I just bought bottom of the barrel, just to kind of get hands on. For me to learn anything, I have to get hands on with it. So, I'm not committing and going into the higher end at all. I just what's the cheapest one? Okay, boop, boop, boop. And that's just what I bought.
No, that's good. And that's it. That's what I would suggest to people too. So now you've got this virgin that you've bred between these two guys. These two, you can see the lineage, right?
Yeah.
And so, I don't know, you probably bought the parents for 0.3 or 0.035, right?
Yeah.
So now you can easily sell this guy for the exact same price. As a virgin, probably more, a little bit more. I would start at 0.45 down to 0.35 in a day or two, and you'll probably see it sell quite fast. So
starting price at what? Sorry?
0.045.
0.045
and 0.35.
Oh, you go down. Interesting.
Well, because that gets.
Yeah, I would have gone the other way. It's like, this is going to go up in value. You got to buy it now.
Right. Well, if it was a good Axie, maybe.
Yeah.
But basically, you're selling to the same market that you are, right? People that are looking for the best deal, right? So when they see what it's going down in price, oh, it's cheap now. It's going to be even cheaper by the end of the day. But people are always watching the most recent listings, and they see cheap ones, and they'll grab instantly. So if you were looking for a quick flip, you kind of want it to descend the price, right?
Interesting.
And so you sell that, and you've made your return on your investment already for the first one that you bought.
Yeah.
And you've got 2 more Axies out of it. So you still got the parent to breed, and you've got, usually you breed 3, you can sell 1 or 2 and then keep 1.
All right, everybody, go get it.
So now you go to the dashboard there.
Yeah.
See, it'll pop up in a second here. And when you see stuff like that's a good deal, it'll disappear instantly. It'll go from side to side super fast. Oh, there he is.
There he is.
Is that him? Yep.
Yeah. Is it?
Nice. No.
No. That's not what I charged.
No, that's a different one.
You could make an NFT clip of you selling your first ever Axie Blue and the crypto jungle.
But you see that actually is quite
I
similar
feel
to the one you have.
it's very similar. Yeah.
But it's got a
super
bit
similar.
better offensive parts, so it's
Right.
priced a bit
Yeah.
higher.
There's my nerdy little guy. Perfect.
So your guy, it's like a defensive attack bird.
Okay.
So that's why its kind of price isn't the higher.
Yeah.
Because you've kind of got like defensive parts on an attack class.
Gotcha.
I'm pretty sure by
Now,
now.
is this appropriately?
Gonzo, in short, for people that are maybe still a bit confused looking at this for the first time, in short, what's the elevator pitch on why you think the Axie Infinity ecosystem is a great investment? Not financial advice, people. Just our thoughts. What for you, in a nutshell? Why you're all over this?
Well, it's an emerging technology, and the new technology is enabling a new financial system. The crypto slogan for the longest time was "banking the unbanked," and that's exactly what we're doing here. Allowing people to make money without a job, going to an office, right? Yeah, I just think there's lots of opportunity here. I mean, I love crypto and the gaming aspect. I'm not a huge gamer, but I see the value of like owning your own assets. It's like entertainment.
Oh,
right?
It's sold. It's gone.
It did. There you go. See, look at that.
It just sold. Wow, that was very quick.
Bam. See,
There you go.
now you know what you're doing.
Huh.
Yeah,
Wow,
happy
cool.
day. That's good.
Yeah.
See,
Just made 200
so
bucks.
now you do
on
the same
stream,
thing,
beauty.
right? You can also, if you sell the shittier ones and then you use that to buy nicer ones, right? So even if you buy a shitty one, you can get 3 or 4 of them. You sell 3 or 4 shitty ones, you buy a nicer one. So you can see how it goes, right? Real fast.
Very interesting. Yeah.
Cool.
A lot of participants in this market. Yeah.
And right, so when AXS is enabled for staking, you're also going to get a cut of that transaction, right? And so there's the community treasury where all those funds they go into, and then it just gets split up between the stakers. Just contributed to that daily volume. Sean, look at that on the marketplace there. That's crazy, right? Like they're doing, it's just going up every day.
So, Baloo, thoughts? Are you convinced?
I'm convinced. I'm convinced.
Yeah.
It's just another application of blockchain. And, now that I'm hands-on with it, now that I'm looking at it, I get really excited when it clicks. And, there's an entire economy here. When you have a community of anybody, any community whatsoever that has value offered along the way where people want to participate, people want to help grow and make things more powerful, and people want to just take the shortcut and just pay for somebody else's work. Like, you have an economy here, and it just makes sense. And it's crazy to think where the world will be going with the development of on-chain gaming coupled with the whole VR world. Like, this is only going to get better. This is only going to grow. The gaming space is only going to get more crazy, and you're going to have people living in virtual reality making a living. And it's mind-boggling that I'm alive to see this stuff happen, and that it is happening so quickly. It's just really cool.
Yeah, it's like, what's your job? Oh yeah, I breed digital monsters.
Yeah.
Okay. And I employ, like 30 people around the world play with the monsters. Yeah. They pay for their kids' education and doctor's appointments and food to sustain themselves with this. It's like, okay, what the fuck is
it's
going on
crazy.
here?
I think if anything we've done on this channel, Mr. Gonzo, this is the one that I'm, the most proud of. We were educating people on Bitcoin for the longest time. Kind of like to think we did a pretty good job there, but this one is pretty special, and this whole play to earn space is only going to get bigger. If Axie is clearly the first cab off the rank, but there's more coming. And in fact, we've got some announcements coming up very shortly, people. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, I'm sold on this one. Baloo, it's good to have you involved with us now as well.
I'm stoked you sold your Axie on the chat. That's good.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Proof of concept right there. Took only a few seconds. It was probably more in transaction time than actually what happened.
Yep.
Yeah.
Flip it.
Very good. Very good. Okay. I mean, lots more to come on this, and Baloo, it's nice to have you come and join us on some of the more fundamental stuff we do on the channel, in addition to the TA. Now, we're going to go live this Wednesday, so shill us your coins, people. Let us know what you want to see. As long as it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Matic, we'll cover it, right?
Yeah. I think with the current state of the market, people aren't going to want to shill the shit coins to me right now, because they're not going to like what I have to what I have to say about it. So,
Shiba.
yeah,
Shiba.
yeah,
Oh my God.
yeah. I don't know. Take your dog for a walk because it's going to be a while.
Yeah. Okay. Listen, everyone watching this, we've made an absolute ton of Axie content on this channel. We will continue to do so. As I mentioned, we've got some really exciting additional play to earn information coming up for you in the coming weeks. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, give us a like. Check out Baloo's channel as well. I'd a real pleasure to have this guy join us on the Hard Forking channel. He's got his own channel also. Get over there, link below. Subscribe to him. Now, guys, we will be answering your questions. Join our Discord. I know for many of you, you might have watched this video and gone, oh, I kind of understood that. It does take a bit of time, and that's the whole point in blockchain. You are early. That's why you're getting rewarded so well. So apply yourselves. Get in there. Don't be lazy. Ultimately, you do have to do a bit of work here, but the rewards are significant when you do. So for us, this play to earn space is only going to get bigger and get stuck in. We're here to help. Thank you for watching, everybody. See you all soon. Cheers now.
Peace out.
Have a good one.
Cheers.